Well, this morning, time is ticking for TikTok after U.S. President Joe Biden signed off on a foreign aid package that includes a potential ban on the popular social media website. TikTok's Chinese owner, ByteDance, now with about 9 months to sell, or that platform could be banned in the United States. TikTok, though, promising to fight back.
So what does that mean for the 170 million Americans on the app? Joining us with some perspective is SMU professor Eric Cedillo.
Morning.
Eric, thanks so much for joining us. Other U.S. bans of TikTok have faced battles in the courts, and the bans have been overruled every time. So let us know, why have judges ruled in favor of TikTok in the past?
Yeah, when you're dealing with a situation like this, they're maintaining that the First Amendment right to freedom of speech is at issue. And with that, it's the highest level of scrutiny that the courts kind of take into consideration. The government has to show a compelling state interest in terms of what it is they need done, and then that has to be narrowly tailored to achieve that objective or the least restrictive measure taken. Now, many maintain that a total ban would be something of a death penalty, and with that, there may be lots of points of contention that TikTok could utilize in suggesting that there are other measures that could be taken aside from the ban. So ultimately, once this makes it up, to the court, I think they'd have a good argument to maintain that this is unconstitutional.
Well, Eric, we've seen the ACLU push back on this. We've seen consumer groups say TikTok doesn't do anything that other apps like Facebook or Instagram don't do. You mentioned the First Amendment concerns and the fact that they are already 3-0 in these cases so far. How far could this go legally? Are we talking Supreme Court level challenges?
Yeah, I think so. I think ultimately that may be where this is headed. Because the ban doesn't take effect for 9 to 12 months, it's a situation where we won't probably get to hear an injunctive hearing, which would be something that would be immediate. It's going to be something that's filed by the makers of TikTok, and it may be a long, drawn-out process, one in which a federal judge may not see this for a number of months or may not hear argument for a number of months. And then ultimately it could make its way up to the appellate courts and ultimately up to the Supreme Court.
Now, can you think of any precedent for action like this? And if you did have a crystal ball, what do you see happening?
Yeah, in all honesty, I think the makers of TikTok are probably on good legal ground with respect to their contentions. Now, our government maintains that the compelling state interest is ensuring the data safety and also concerns about the Chinese government, of course, spreading propaganda. There's less restrictive forms of taking care of that. And I think ultimately a court may hinge upon that. I believe there is a compelling state interest, but it's one in which I think there's less restrictive measures that can be taken into consideration. I think ultimately a court is going to find that the First Amendment is being violated here and that this is relatively unconstitutional.
A fascinating case. Eric Cedillo from SMU, thank you for your perspective this morning.
Absolutely.